Hey, I'm Scotty, and recently I was in Melbourne for PAX, which is a massive gaming convention. And one of the first things you see when you walk in is this giant sign that says PAX. And when I first saw it, I thought, I wonder what that would sound like as a song. So I got out my iPhone, I recorded a bunch of sounds, me tapping it and scratching the fabric it's made of, and turned it into the song I'm about to play you. So I'll play it now with a bunch of footage I took over the 3 days I was there, and then I'll come back after and show you how I did it. Started by just throwing the whole sample into Ableton and having a listen through, seeing what sounds I could pull out, like little knocks, bangs and whatever. And then I got working on the drums. So the kick, pretty simple. I just grabbed one of the lower hits from the sign, like that, and EQ'd out the highs and gave it a little bit of compression so it pops a bit. This thing that started like this, that was me just like clicking my fingers on the sign. I slowed it down, EQ'd it to get some of that other noise out, and then slow it down, just give some sort of percussion going on. For that like tom intro, I just grabbed one of the hits and then changed the pitch a couple times. So up by 12, which is an octave, up by 9, then 0. That's me just rubbing my hand along the fabric that the sign's got on the letters. And I didn't even do anything to that because that's lazy. The bass is what I spent most of the time kind of working with on the sound design. So this is what it sounds like. I found this sound, which is me hitting the sign. I EQ'd the highs out, boosted the lows, add a vintage exciter, and then like a little bass plug-in to get it to sound like this. And then I put a reverb on top. And rather than just giving it a reverb with a really long tail, if you turn the feedback up past 100, rather than just affecting the noise you run through it, it starts adding reverb on top of the reverb that's already there, and then it creates like a tone. So the sound stopped, but it's still kind of like looping and feeding back onto itself. So I got that feedback noise, added a little hit to the front of it, and then this stuff here ducked out the sound to make I wanted to make some sort of 808 type noise, which is a type of bass. So I got this. I threw that into this instrument called a simpler. Well, no, it's called a sampler, but I am poor and have the cheap version of Ableton, so I just have the simpler. Put it through another compressor, thermal, which gives it a little bit of character. A compressor to sidechain it to the kick, so every time the kick hits, it ducks, and then EQ'd it once again. So that's what the bass then sounds like. I grabbed just a little bit of this sort of stuff from the sample, which is just kind of like nothing, just ambient noise. I threw that into a granular synthesizer, and using this synth, I turned that little bit of audio into this note. Once I had that, I could drag that into a sampler again and use MIDI to control what it's playing. Once I had those chords, I dragged it into a new track, a thermal on top of that. And then the good old cheap way of adding a sidechain, just one knob pumper, just to give it that for some movement. That is actually the bass. So I pitched it up an octave, then added little altar boy on top, pitched it up another octave, and the performance up by 12. Added a compressor, just to give it some something, and then pumper again just to make it bounce a little bit. So yeah, that's what the PAX sign sounds like as a song in my mind. Does it sound how you would imagine that sign would? That's a weird question, but let me know either way. And if you like this type of video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm going to be making a ton more of this music production style stuff. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one.